All right, what else we got here? And show feedback.
Okay, fine. People were very upset with Shipwreck complaining about Netflix. Curfew Kurufinwi says Netflix shows like The Crown, Narcos, Ozark, Peaky Blinders, and Queen's Gambit are just some of the are just as high quality as anything on Disney Plus. And Doc Samson said the list could go on, but leave it to the guy without Netflix to rip on the quality of the service.
I was a long time Netflix subscriber.
But it's better now. Right when you canceled is when it got good.
They lost me.
You know what? This is what I'm going to say. I don't think Shipwreck would like The Crown, Narcos, Ozark.
Right, good call.
He might like Peaky Blinders.
I don't know that.
I have one of those games back there. Is a Peaky Blinders game for the Switch.
I think he might like that. And I really like the Queen's Gambit, but I don't think Shipwreck would like the Queen's Gambit. So
right. I agree with that assessment.
Yeah. I think that's sort of the problem right there.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, I don't like those shows. I don't know what else to say about it. Like, I know what I would enjoy, and I'm not sitting down to binge watch TV shows. I watch on average one episode of TV a week.
Yes, we established this last
Netflix can be good, and Shipwreck could not like Netflix, and
correct.
Both of these statements can be true.
yes.
I think people got upset because I called it filler. But I stand by that statement.
I watch very little on Netflix. It's not my go-to streaming service, but it's my wife's go-to streaming service. So I basically live with this argument. So I get it.
I feel like there is some. I mean, we can go right into Watch This Boys because this is we're gonna prove Shipwreck right and wrong at the same time. I mean, definitely. Looking at those original Marvel series on Netflix, there was a lot of filler in those. I mean,
when you watch those compared to WandaVision,
yes,
as far as
it's night and day.
Yeah,
yes.
The handling of Marvel on a streaming service, it's very different.
Yes, but there are quality shows that are not filler. Anyway, we don't need to get into it. Let's get into what we're watching, though, boys. I keep forgetting to tell you about something. So some of these things are from previous weeks that I've just forgotten to tell you about. I'm not just watching that much stuff all the time. The first movie that we watched that you've never heard of is called, I don't even know how you say it, Furie? I think maybe it's Furie, but it's spelled Furie.
I would pronounce that as Fury.
Okay, it's a Vietnamese like kung fu movie, basically, revenge movie. Starring, it's about a woman whose daughter gets kidnapped.
No, I need to know the name of the star. Could you tell me?
I cannot, but I can tell you.
What's the name of the star? What's the star's name?
How would I know?
I don't know. You watched it.
I don't know, but I can tell you she was in the another thing that I haven't seen, the latest Star Wars movie. She was Rose Tico's something. Sister? Cousin? Somebody told me on Twitter. Anyway, she's pretty good at karate or something, and she kicks everybody's ass. And if you like revenge movies that are mostly people getting punched in the face, and if done by a woman, this is the movie for you. And it's also very interesting to see Vietnam used as a backdrop in a movie because you don't see that happen very often. And if you do...
Unless it's Apocalypse Now or for Full Metal Jacket.
Okay, so those are old. Those are very old.
Good Morning
movies.
Vietnam.
Old, very old movies, over 30 years old. So this is, made
Rambo
now by Vietnamese people. And so it doesn't seem very Hollywood at all. It seems like what you're looking at looks like this could be what it looks like, actually. Anyway, I recommend it, Mrs. Cheapy. And it's a brisk 90 minutes, which is, always good. Now, the next thing I watched, I believe Wombat has watched this as well, and that is called, is it called Cecil Hotel? Is that the
Something
name
like
of it?
That. For this show, it is.
Right. Cecil Hotel is the name of the show we watched. This is it was 4 parts.
4 parts.
And those were like...
about an hour each.
About an hour each. Now, I'd never heard of the story of Elisa Lam.
The Elisa Lam, you never saw that?
I was in
video?
Japan at the time, I believe.
Okay, then
I never heard of it.
I'm sure Shipwreck hasn't seen it either, but I'll give you a pass. It's
You've never Shipwreck haven't heard of.
I have no idea what we're talking about right now.
It's about why am I talk?
I was gonna say I think it was about 2013. Is that when it happened? A woman named Elisa Lam was staying at the Cecil Hotel in downtown Los Angeles, and security footage caught her acting very erratically, and then she disappeared and wasn't found for 20 days. And when they found her, she was in the water tower.
Oh, no, what are you doing? What are you doing? You can't give away the fucking documentary. I'd be furious if I was listening and you said that.
It's not giving it away. Everyone knows this.
I didn't know it when I was watching it.
She was not in the water tower.
I knew it going in.
You did, but that's not everybody.
I feel like everyone knows this already. It was on the news. It was national news for a week when it happened.
But that was a long time ago. It's not giving. What does the chat say? What does the chat say?
Warner Brothers, I would guess.
It's really the documentary is about, the deeper part of the documentary. What makes it interesting is really about these internet sleuths trying to solve this mystery, whether it be while she was missing, where she might be, and the aftermath of when she was found and what they believed versus what the police believed. And that's what made it interesting. The story itself, it's a documentary. This is something that happened. It's not like it's a movie where you spoil the twist ending. This is a real thing. There's no spoiler. It's a documentary.
I disagree.
But anyway.
I disagree, and the chat disagrees.
But anyway, no, actually, it's sort of it seems to be 50-50. But anyway, I don't know. I assumed everyone knew what happened. But it was fine. It's way too long. It's a half-hour story stretched out into 4 hours.
Right.
It sounds like it was like a 30-second story.
It really is. It is. That's just it. It's a 5-minute news story that they stretched out into 4 hours.
And you're saying this is on Netflix?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is definitely, for sure, this is one of those where this could have been too. I mean, I get it. They want to build suspense, and they also want to draw attention to the internet sleuths and the problems that they cause. But yeah, this could have been at least one full episode shorter, maybe two.
It probably would have made a good 2-hour documentary, because again, they try to make the mystery aspect of what happened to her like a big thing. Right. But again, we know what happened to her, so it's like, okay, I know now
we do.
Right.
I've seen like 3 documentaries on it already too, and I hate to say it, but the Discovery Plus paranormal expert one does a better job, because it's more about the Cecil Hotel, and they actually do a better job of going into the history of the hotel.
But there's no such thing as ghosts, so any of that stuff is ridiculous. So,
that's what I was saying. It would help if you listened.
Okay.
You see, the show is better.
Why don't you just tell me what happens so I don't have to watch it without any?
The show is better because, yes, there's a lot of dumb stuff about ghosts, and that's all the nonsense.
Right.
But they preface the dumb stuff about the dumb nonsense with, this is why this room is important. This is who stayed here. This is when the hotel was built. This is what happened during this time. Over the last, 80 years, 18 people have died in the hotel. Here are the stories of all of these people that died. Here's who they were. Here's the history. This is what makes it creepy, and this is what makes this hotel creepy. And they did all of that in a 2-hour span.
Right.
So it kind of cut the fat. And again, it told more history than what is essentially a 5-minute story.
Right. This wasn't about the history of the hotel, but it certainly could have been, because it was 4 hours. But I feel like they also wanted to point out the crushing poverty that the hotel is surrounded by, because it's in Skid Row, Ship.
Yeah.
The hotel. It's like right on the border.
There's more to it than
Row.
the story of Elisa Lam that I did not spoil, because everyone knows that story.
Have we walked past this hotel before then, Cheapy?
No.
We've driven past it. Definitely.
But the opening part of the movie was really about how downtown LA was getting, gentrified, and yet there's all these homeless people, and they're all getting just sort of pushed into this, like, actually big area. It's like several blocks, and the hotel is right there, and there's a lot of crazy people around. Anyway, I still enjoyed it, even though it was 4 hours. And I didn't know anything about it, and I figured out what had happened because I knew a similar situation in, didn't really affect me personally, but something happened with my fraternity where, I don't want to spoil the documentary, but a similar situation happened with my fraternity. So I recognized the signs, and I was like, yep, and I called it. Anyway, another documentary that I watched, we watched a bunch. We watched Framing Britney, which is on...
She also is found in the water tower 19 days later.
Don't joke about that. That was on... What was that on? I think that's on HBO Max. That's a New York Times...
No, it's not.
It's not.
Max.
Hulu.
It's Hulu.
Hulu. That is a New York Times piece. And that's only an hour, I think, or so. And that's all about the conservatorship. And... it seems like, yeah, she's like in a pretty unfair situation right now, actually. Like I haven't been really following the Free Britney movement. I just thought it was like some weird thing. But boy, she had a lot of paparazzi going after her at all times. Like Princess Di, like nothing. That was nothing. Britney, like, could not open the door of her car without 50 people being there, no matter where she is. It's just like... it's extreme circumstances, and, you know, who's to say if she's crazy or not? Or anyway, I'd recommend watching that. It's really well done, and you forget really how famous she was. I mean, she was Michael Jackson level famous, maybe pretty close. You should watch that one. I'm surprised you didn't watch that. It's short.
I watched it. I
culture.
just haven't gotten around to it, and to be honest, it's been so everywhere. I feel like I saw it already.
Got it. Yeah, I watched this like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
I get it. We treated her horribly. We're all terrible people, and we should have treated her better. And we need to do a better job with the narrative and how we frame how women are treated in the media.
Yes,
because we wouldn't do to them what we wouldn't do to men what we do to women.
Well said.
Yes, and
spoiled. You just spoiled another one.
I know. And Justin Timberlake, you can't apologize publicly if you haven't actually reached out to the person and apologized to them privately first.
Oh, really? Is that what he did?
Yeah, he just went on Instagram and put up a paragraph and said, "I'm really sorry for everything I did to Britney Spears and Janet Jackson." I'm like, that's not how it works. First, you apologize to Britney Spears, and then if you want to go to Instagram and say, "Hey, I had a long conversation with Britney Spears where I apologized to her and she accepted my apology." Isn't that great, everybody? You can't just like shout out your window, "I apologize, Britney Spears," and assume that means that like she accepted your apology. That doesn't make it okay.
Maybe he sent it to her as a DM also, like just the same thing.
Like dropped it in, slid into her DMs.
Right.
"Yo, Brit, I'm sorry.
I'm dropping this on my gram. Just wanted to give you the heads up."
Exactly. It's kind of like double shitty.
Right.
Like you can't be bothered.
Yep. Anyway, it's still worth watching. I'd recommend. It's well done and it's short. The last one that we're watching, this one's on HBO Max. This is called Tiger, and it's about Tiger Woods. This is a 2-parter. We've only watched the first part. It's about an hour and 20 minutes, I think, each part.
How long does it take before they show Tiger in the water tower?
I don't know, because we only watched the first half. It hasn't happened yet. Okay. But it's really well done, and you know, Mrs. Cheapy didn't really know too much about Tiger, so it's all new. I mean, she knows that he's like
she doesn't know much about Tiger.
She knows that
he's like the most famous athlete in the world,
but not the background about the father, and like even I learned stuff about the father that I don't know if it was public or not, but you know, he was a philanderer.
Are you shocked at the parallels between how you're raising your son and how?
Nothing like that. It's insane. Like I mean, yeah. Oh, I can't believe that my child is a golf prodigy. Even, you know, I gave him a golf club at the age of 2 months, and you know, I'm shocked that he's plays golf for a living. But it's very interesting, and we're just at the point now where he got married and everything's going great. Everything's just going.
It stays
great.
right there.
Yeah.
It never. There's no
cruise control from there.
Don't need to watch the second half.
No, it's a
No.
whoosh.
So I'm excited to see. I mean, the second half is going to be very exciting, obviously. So I'm looking forward to watching.
Well, since you talked about all 4 things you're watching, although one of them I had to bring up something that I'm watching, just so I could get the look of disgust on GB's face.
Oh God.
See?
Yeah.
See, this is where it goes. Maybe Shipwreck 2, but I don't know. Maybe not. Yeah, Shipwreck's already nodding. He said, yes, I will be disgusted. So yeah, I mentioned this on the show before, that before I go to bed, I want to put on something to help me fall asleep.
Okay.
Because I have trouble sleeping, and I try to find something kind of mindless and stupid. They added a brand new Kevin James sitcom to Netflix that they actually do film in Bethpage.
Great.
And it's about him.
That's where your doctor's at, right?
He's the pit leader on a NASCAR crew. Basically where my doctor is, yeah.
Okay.
He's a pit leader on a NASCAR crew? A pit master? I don't know. What do they call it? Pit manager?
Pit boss.
Pit boss. Thank you. I know there's a word.
I don't know that that's the right word. I just threw something out there.
No, I like it.
Pit.
Pit boss. So Kevin James, of course, is a pit boss on a NASCAR team because he knows everything there is to know about race cars. And it's about it's like this weird, like, liberals are so stupid show. And I watched.
There's a lot of money in that. I don't know if you've been paying attention.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the owner of the team is the daughter of the original owner. Like he handed the team to her.
Okay.
And she's the young upstart liberal girl. Mm-hmm. And she doesn't like hunting. And she doesn't like barbecue food. How does she know how to run a NASCAR team?
Tofu? There are tofu jokes?
I think not yet, but it's coming.
It's guaranteed to come. Yeah, somehow that's like an insult, by the way. So you're supposed to be insulted if someone says that you eat soy products.
Yeah, yeah. Because soy releases estrogen or something like that.
Oh, is that for real?
I think so.
That explains.
There's something with hormones and soy products. Yes, there is a tie there, but that's neither here nor there. I watched The Crew, so you don't have to. The Crew. It's basically what I'm saying. It's the Kevin James sitcom.
Even you don't recommend that?
You know, I wanted it to be like just towing the line of dumb enough where maybe I chuckled once every 30 minutes and you'd be like, all right, just
stupid liberals.
Yeah. I get it. I do hate hunting. I'm the worst.
I did have tofu today.
You got me. Like I could laugh at myself. Sure. I don't mind. But it doesn't go anywhere. It's so predictable, and there's not a laugh to be found.
Nice. Well, at least you
said it's on Netflix.
This is on Netflix.
So I'm adding up now.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say, don't watch The Crew, but I'll finish the season.
Well, we like to see people from. Right, of course, you'll finish it.
Nah, I think I'm just gonna go back to watching the Love Boat channel on Pluto.
That's a real thing.
That is a real thing. Pluto.tv. Which is an app built into my cable box, has a channel dedicated to nothing but the Love Boat.
Sounds horrible.
24 hours a day, the Love Boat. It's a lot of episodes of the Love Boat.
Did you watch the trailer for Cruella?
I did watch the trailer for Cruella.
Disney's Joker?
I like that.
I watched that as well.
It looks like Disney's Joker.
Tweet. Yes, it does look like
it wasn't even really like a joke. It was like, this is Disney. I mean, Disney's Joker looks good. And I mean, I wasn't really even trying to be funny. It just looked like Disney's Joker, and it did look good. So I don't know.
I'll watch that.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll all watch it. It seems unnecessary.
Sure. I mean, they do a lot of stuff with the villains, right? I mean, they made the Maleficent movie recently. They have a whole bunch of book series out about all the villains. They've got board games about the villains. Everybody loves the villains.
It's good that Disney's not just, about the princesses anymore. Let's get some like fucked up women in there, like just crazy, like burning shit down, like equal opportunity and everything.
They know what they're doing. I mean, Descendants was huge, which is all about the villains' kids.
Yeah.
And
Disney had a princess problem up until 2008. That was their...
What was the problem?
Well, they only had princesses, and they were making billions of dollars off the princesses, but it was only one part of a market, and they want all the markets.
They want the people with bad morals, too?
So they came out with a movie with 2 princesses and solved it all.
Well, they also bought Marvel, at this around that time too.
Right.
Which
That
was worth about the
solution.
same as their movie that had 2 princesses.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna lock in the princess market, and we're gonna buy the boy market.
Good plan.
Yeah, and the double princesses paid for the boy market. Smart business.
See how it works.
Yep.
Anyway, I'll watch that. It's on Disney Plus, and it's not bad. If it gets bad reviews, I'm not watching it though. Anyway,